Questions et commentaires, questions, comments? L'honorable député de...
The Honourable Member for Honoré-Mercier. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In 1995, one thing surprised me. We talked about two founding peoples, but it's as if the First Nations never existed before we Europeans arrived. Now we see a bill that talks about the financial transparency of First Nations. What does that mean? It means that there is no transparency already? I'm getting the same message that I got in 95 when I got here. It's contempt and lack of knowledge of the First Nations of Canada. I'd like my colleague to talk about this prejudice that we have against First Nations.
Goma, Manitoulin, Kapuskasing.
I appreciate that question by my colleague. When it comes to transparency, look, the First Nations have to provide more reports to this government than any other government or organization. There's a lot of transparency when it comes to First Nations.
I just want to conclude by adding the Grand Chief, the National Grand Chief's comments to the Prime Minister. And he goes on to say that only two conclusions to draw from the legislation that is being put forward. And not just this legislation, but a lot of the legislation that's being put forward with respect to First Nations. He goes on to say that either the Prime Minister understands and doesn't care, or he's allowing and supporting the behavior to occur and doesn't understand, or doesn't understand but does care. So which one is it?
Reprise de débat.
Resuming debate.